years of strength, will, and desire, building a future for me and you. Let's get inspired and shine a spotlight on the CUSW. Hello, and welcome to the CUSW Spotlight Podcast, brought to you by the Canadian Union of Skilled Workers, established in 1999. CUSW has been empowering its members and shaping the future of skilled trades for over 25 years. In this podcast, we shine a spotlight on the people, stories, and values that make CUSW a strong and dynamic community. It's an exciting time to be part of this union, and we're here to celebrate the journey, achievements, and dedication of skilled workers. So turn up the volume and let's get started. Here's your host for the CUSW Spotlight Podcast, Mr. Dan Plexman.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CUSW Spotlight Podcast. Today, we're joined with one of our good friends, Chris Hibbert. Hey, Chris, how are you today?
Good, Dan. How are you, man?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for joining us on the show. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been excited about it for a little while. So,
yeah, us too. Especially after we listened to your participation in the conference last year in the panel discussion. You really brought a lot of enlightenment to the role of the power linesman. And we kind of felt we got to bring you on the show to make it more clear what you guys do and the role you play within our industry and our union itself. So the people at home who don't know Chris is a journeyman power linesman with CUSW. And Chris, can you tell the viewers at home how long you've been a journeyman lines person and how did you get into the CUSW family?
So I've been a journeyman lines person for about 2 years. I was an apprentice, obviously, for 4 years before that. I was working just some whatever I could find for a long time. I was in factories. I was in a CNC factory. I was in some automotive factories. And then I went to Bell. And I actually met another linesman that was doing it already. And he was 23 and he had a house. And I went to his house and, we had a little party and we were talking. And I was like, how are you able to do this at your age? And he explained what he did. And actually his description was like, I just climb the towers and maintenance them. And I was like, oh, that sounds good. And I didn't at that point really clue in to what that meant. But I was like, yeah, man, sign me up. And he actually got me in to the linesman group and on the pre-select list. And then a job came up and I applied for it and I got it. And then you're just in it. Right? You can't, you're already there. There's no backing out. And I will say for the first 6 months, it was terrifying because humans aren't really supposed to be that high up every day. So it was something that it kind of shapes you after a while once you do it enough.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of odd and funny at the same time how a lot of us sign up for these jobs and we really don't know what we're signing up for. But like any young man, you're trying to make your way in this world. You're trying to find a position in life and trying to find a paycheck.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to this job than money. And we all know that. But realistically, when you're a young guy, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make your way. So it's nice to have these opportunities, even though you don't know what you're signing up for sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any one of the transmission guys will tell you that they do it because they love doing it. I guess there's probably people out there, but it's a crazy job. So, the pay makes it right.
I hear you. I remember years ago, we were on a 600-foot lighting tower, working the midnight shift. I think it was like 2:34 in the morning, minus 30.
Yeah.
And we're just putting straps on a side of a tower. And I'm wondering, why am I doing this? There's nobody loves this job ever.
Yeah. Yeah. In the summer, it's actually a blast. But in the winter, yeah, I agree. Nobody likes it in the winter.
It's true. But at the same time, when you get home at the end of the day after going through some of those hard days, you feel beat up and you feel tired, but you feel really accomplished. You do.
Yeah, absolutely. My hands don't shake when I collect my paycheck. That's a common saying in the line trade.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you put the work in, you don't feel nervous getting paid the hours kind of thing.
Yeah, if your hands aren't trembling from fear, they're trembling from cold.
Yeah. Something's shaking. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's funny. And it's true with the role of the power linesman. I've often felt it's one of the unrecognized roles and unappreciated roles within our industry and within the construction group in general, just because a lot of the work is remote. It's not seen by the general public often. And a lot of the positions that you guys put yourselves in to get to the job, fighting geography, fighting weather, the long time away from home. Sometimes you're staying in not the best hotels, motels along the way either. Like you're just finding a room kind of thing because you're such in a remote area. And sometimes getting to the job is harder than actually doing the job itself.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of situations where 2 or 3 hours of the day is just riding on an Argo through insane moon crater territory to get out there. And then when we climb the tower, we have a system that goes up there. It's like pulleys with ropes that come down, and nobody wants to pull that up. So you have to hook it up to a machine. You have to figure out where the track of the machine's going to go and if it makes sense. And sometimes there's other circuits around, so you have to watch for that kind of thing. So yeah, you're right. Getting there is half the job, and then setting up and figuring out how you're going to do it is also another half of the job, right? But it's very involved. You're right. The time away from home it takes a certain type of person to be able to go and do it every day and be away from home. And then there's the overtime too, right? If you're away for 2 weeks straight, no matter who you are, that takes a toll on you.
For sure. And you talking about working overtime, I don't know how many jobs I've been on the construction job where you don't know how long you're working for the day. You ask your foreman or whoever, how long are we working? We're working till dark 30.
Yeah.
So
Tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah. Like we're working till the job gets done. We don't have a choice. People are waiting for the lights to go on at home. There's hospitals that are waiting for power to get turned on.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
It's a major deal. Like
Storm, I would say it's almost a completely different thing than it is working your 40 hours. Storm is a wild, yeah, exactly what you said. You got people waiting in the cold or waiting for their power and stuff, and it feels different. Everything's different, right? You're away from home, but you don't think about it as much because you're doing 16-hour days. So really all you have to do when you get home is go to sleep, and then you wake up and you're right back into it. It's a little different than the 40-hour week where, you get off at 5:30, you have a couple hours to kind of regather yourself. It's not like that on Storm, right?
Yeah, especially when there's so many people waiting, like there's communities in crisis without power. Yeah. You guys are the ones saving lives. You really are. You're preventing so many accidents from happening. You're protecting people. It's impressive what you guys do.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that when you're out there, right? But thanks for saying that. I'm sure on behalf of all linemen, we thank you for that. But it doesn't feel like that, right? Like you're out in the mud or in the snow or whatever for 16 hours a day. You don't really think about what you're doing.
And that's another thing I always felt about the power linesman position, where you guys are drudging through the mud. You're humping the highways. You guys are just putting it out there, and people look at you guys because the work is really demanding physically. But at the same time, you guys are up there doing technical work.
Yeah you gotta be careful.
Yeah, like it's technical. You got to use your brains, you got to use your skill, and you got to rely on all the experience from the previous guys that are teaching you along the way. This isn't just monkey work up there. You're just not climbing towers and cranking some bolts. You guys are actually doing technical work, and that is the most underappreciated side of the job that I feel as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a big stigma with tower guys. They call it filling holes, and that is something that comes around in conversation a lot, especially when you talk to like distribution guys. So transmission and distribution, I don't know, should I explain the difference between those?
Yeah, we'd love to hear the difference.
Sure. Okay. So transmission is obviously the big lines, the towers. It's most of the stuff that we do on transmission, they turn it off because the voltage is so high or the induction is really high. Distribution is the system that distributes power. It'll either be from stations into neighborhoods, into houses and stuff. It's a little more complicated because so getting up the tower is the worst part of being a transmission lineman. I'm sure you would know that. The worst part about being a distribution lineman is you really got to think about what you're doing. You can't just hit it with a hammer. I just switched from transmission into distribution, and it's such a different world. These guys work hard. Like, distribution linemen work hard. I'm not taking that away from them. There is a lot more thinking involved, whereas the transmission, climbing the towers, I wake up and I go, I know I got to go up a tower in an hour. That's all I got to think about.
Yeah, you kind of like trading your spud wrench for a screwdriver.
Yeah, exactly. Smaller tools, everything's lighter, that's for sure. Everything's really heavy on transmission. The highest hoist I've seen in our yard is 1.5 tons. And the hoists that I see in a transmission yard, I've seen 10-ton hoists. Yeah. They're great big boxes with chain falls that come out of them, and you can't even pick them up. You got to get a crane to pick them up. Like, it's way different, right?
Yeah, they're strong enough to yank a couple cars up that tower if you really want.
Oh yeah. Like, 20,000 pounds, man.
Totally, yeah.
So,
and people just have no idea when you start yanking weight up like that, and the higher you go, the more you got this happening.
Yeah. Like, the most dangerous thing in distribution is voltage and amperage and crossing the phases. Most dangerous thing in transmission is tension.
Totally. Yeah.
The tension of the lines, and if you make a mistake or something, that it's gonna go, right? That line will disappear so fast you won't even know what happened.
Gone right now.
Yeah. And if your positioning's wrong, you might be gone too, right? So you got to be very careful on what you're doing. So, like, both sides have very dangerous things, and both sides have, I don't know what you want to call it, caveats to them.
For sure. I was reading your bio a little bit, and it said that you're a social butterfly.
Sure.
And I believe that because I know you. I really find it funny that you're pegged as a social butterfly, considering your physical demeanor and your physical size, because a lot of people would say you're kind of like a butterfly with the maybe the intimidation factor of a velociraptor.
Okay. I'll take that.
But honestly, you're so cordial and you're so easy to talk to.
Thanks,
which
man.
makes that social butterfly really stick with me, and it does describe you perfectly, man. And I'm just wondering how this social butterfly name, do you think it's helping you with your job as a linesman, and specifically your role as a union representative with CUSW?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can meet anyone and I can go anywhere. I'm sure that's great for the union. I don't know if it helps me in my role as a lineman. It definitely helps me in my role in the union, for sure. Linemen are a different breed. They don't necessarily want to talk to anybody who can talk to anyone, right? The occasional one you'll meet, and he wants you to prove yourself through work, not through words.
Right.
And they'll stick to that until you do something in front of them where they're like, oh, he's not bad. Linemen will accept you as long as you can do the work. And to some people, that's a bottom line. They won't even talk to you until they think you can do everything.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the job is very dangerous. It really is. People don't understand how dangerous your job is, and how everybody has to work together, and you got to follow the protocols and the procedures. And if you're not going to do that safely, and if you're not going to do it diligently, who does want to work with you?
Exactly. You're right. And I say it all the time, especially switching from transmission to distribution. When you climb with transmission guys, you automatically are trusting them. You're putting your life in their hands. It's different in distribution. You do a lot of work by yourself, and you don't really get that chance to prove it. So when you climb a tower and you can do it with the guys and you're new to it, they're automatically like, oh, he's not bad, we accept him. And then, the joking around happens and the relationship gets built a lot stronger. Whereas with distribution, you have to prove yourself because you work alone. It's not, it's like I'm in a bucket doing my own stuff. Whereas on the tower, I'm on a ladder with another guy and we're both working on the same thing. And it's very dangerous, right? You have to trust each other right away, pretty much.
I think that trust level, it must be amplified, especially on the phases or the sections of line where you can't see each other.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
you're working on one end and you know the other guy is a couple kilometers away. You cannot physically see him, but a lot of that work is done with radio control and you just kind of trusting the unknown, and the unknown is your fellow workmate.
Yeah, absolutely. We did a stint in Ottawa where we were doing spacer carts. So we had a double bundle conductor that ran, I don't know, it's a very far line. What you do is you get it, it's crazy. It's a 21-inch aluminum cart that hangs on the two wires, and you pull yourself into the mid span, so like the low part, and then you put your spacers in because the wind will make those slap. And it's not like it's gonna kick it out, but it's just gonna be loud and violent, and they want to space them. And that job, when you're in the spacer cart, you're pulling yourself towards where you need to go, and the guys are gonna pick you up in the crane at the end of it. You can't see them, especially if it's foggy or something. Like we did a big span over some water, and you can't see them. So once you
Jeez.
get over that water, you really hope they're there because your arms are tired. And that was
Wow.
something. It was a neat. We did 7.5 kilometers in Ottawa by hand. So you
Whoa.
get those carts and you pull yourself along. 7.5 kilometers, man. So that was a big trust thing. But I knew the crew. Actually, that whole crew is in my wedding party. I've known them for a long time, and I lived with them on the road. So everybody's good buddies on that crew. So it wasn't hard, but I could see it being hard if you didn't know them or if you were new or something.
Yeah, that's the definition of blind faith, I think, right there, man.
Yeah, you got it, man. You
Yeah.
got it.
I love the part that you said this crew, they were in your wedding party. Like that bodes so well with the COSW family feeling that we all have.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? The one guy got me the job, but the rest of them I met on the job, and we were on a crew for 2 years, and they're all animals. It was a crazy crew to be on, but
Yeah.
we slammed workout, and we kind of became a little known as the crazy guys, right? We all shaved our head at one point. There was some weird hairdos that we did. We all shaved our beards, so we had the Wolverine at one point, and everybody just kind of got used to the antics. And yeah, they're lifelong friends now.
That's
I
awesome.
I love all those guys, man.
Yeah, you're just building camaraderie and having fun. And if you
Yeah.
can't have fun, there's no point in working.
Yeah, do what you love, right? Then it's not a job.
Yeah, exactly. I really like the fact that we're talking about the role of the linesman and how much time it takes away from home
Yeah.
and how it affects your family at home. Like I remember the panel discussion you participated in, and that was a big section of the conversation. What's it like on your family? How does it affect you and your family? People need to know this.
So my very first time that I went away somewhere, it's funny enough, my parents drove up to see where it was. My parents are very involved in my life, and they drove up to just see where it was, and Sarah came with me in the car. And when they left, Sarah actually cried for like 2 hours on the way home, just because the thought of being away from me for 4 days. Now,
Right.
now I can't, like, if I come home early, she's like, "Don't you got something to do?" You get used to it. And that saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. It is true. As long as you can get over the initial separation, you
Yeah.
actually grow closer over it. We have limited time on the weekend, and we're very, very aware of it. And she gets super protective of it, which is fine. And I understand it. She's very good at it now. She works from home. She can function by herself, and she almost, I'm not going to say she prefers the time, but she does like her own space. And she's used to having, we've been doing it for 6 or 7 years. She's used to having the 4 days away from me. And it's not like we wouldn't choose for me to work at home. It's more like we've adapted to it now, and we both understand that we're building something together. She's a great partner. I don't know if everyone feels that way, and I might just be a lucky man. But as far as like what's the impact on the family, it's just time, man. You don't have any time. And a lot of the time that I need to maintain my body and all that stuff falls on the weekend. So we end up doing it together. I'm a very lucky man when it comes to that. But it's just we get protective over the time with each other, which is it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. because it takes away from your circle of friends and stuff. But we're pretty good with it. She's amazing. If she's got to work on the weekend, she's still good. She still makes time for me. And I can't say how amazing she is. I can't say it enough.
Yeah, you don't have to. We can really feel it. Honestly, man. Your whole demeanor changed when you were talking about Sarah. Obviously, the support that she gives you, you give her, you can feel it, man. It's nice to see. Like, thanks for sharing that. It means a lot.
Yeah, no problem, man. And like I said, I might just be a lucky man. I know it affects everybody differently. You know, I don't have any kids. So if I had kids, it would be different, right? She'd be a lot more worn down. Everybody would be a lot more worn down. So I just got real lucky.
I'm in the same position. I got real lucky with my wife as well. And there's nothing more powerful than having a strong partner behind you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It really changes everything. I can appreciate the same thing. Like my wife and I, we often spend a lot of time apart. And when you were describing your situation, I was thinking, yeah, like you guys are doing what you have to do to create something better. And it's like rolling with the punches, you know, life is never going to be perfect and you got to adapt. And I notice now with my wife, when we're apart, we are still connecting because of technology. It's great. But when we get together and we only have a certain amount of time together, we plan every minute.
Yeah.
And it's like this morning, we're waking up at 8 o'clock and then we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. And we pack in so much fun with each other while we get the stuff we need to do done. And there's nothing better than having a good partner. I also feel the same way with CUSW being our partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And CUSW has been great to me, man. They took me on and they give me lots of opportunities. It's an excellent family. I'm not even going to call it a union. It's an excellent family to be a part of. I think other unions kind of struggle with finding participation, and we have so many people that participate and really put their best foot forward for the CUSW, and I appreciate everyone. And I think we're building something great here.
It's true. We have all the foundations, the formwork, the rules, the regulations. We have the Constitution to build this great machine that we're all participating in, but it always boils down to the worker, the individual.
Absolutely.
Like you said before, the guys on your crew, they're like your family. And I feel the same way with CUSW and even with the external entities we have within CUSW that support us. Like for instance, Homewood Health. I was having some problems the last few months and I needed some counseling. So I called Homewood and I got some help. It was great. And without CSW, I never would have had that. And then on the flip side of that, between the times that I was talking to Homewood, I needed someone else to talk to. Who did I call? I called one of my CUSW brothers, one of my fellow Health, Safety, and Wellness Committee members. And I said, hey, like, can we talk? And we talked.
Yeah. And sometimes, man, that's all you need. You just need somebody to listen, or you just need to bounce some ideas around. And yeah, man, I agree. Homewood Health is an excellent resource. Even if you're not going to use it for yourself, somebody in a role like myself, I use the key person advice line. I can't push that enough. Those people know everything you're going through. They know exactly what to say. And even if they don't know what to say, they're great to talk to. When you're dealing with a member that's in crisis or something, and you call them on their behalf and they give you advice on how to speak to them and what you should be doing, it's such an, I'm going to say it's underutilized. I don't think that key person advice line gets used enough.
Yeah, exactly. The other CUSW member who supported me during these times, he said the same thing. And he said, it's so good that you call Homewood because you're actually taking advantage of what we have here. Like you said, it's underutilized. And a lot of us don't even know that it exists.
Yeah. So this is a great platform to talk about it. Everybody use the key person advice line if you have to deal with somebody or take care of yourself. There's this big stigma around counseling, and it's not something that you should be ashamed of at all.
No.
You're not made to go through life alone, right?
We are social animals.
Yeah, social butterflies of the large size.
Yeah, what you're saying there, you're kind of changing your role from a social butterfly to a bee, buddy. You're going around, you're pollinating all these great ideas within us. So
that's good.
That's awesome. We really appreciate your input. This is awesome.
Yeah, man.
Where do we go from here? Like, it seems like we've been talking for 5 minutes, and I think I'm gonna look at my clock. We've been going for well over half an hour.
Oh, really? That's good. And you know what, Dan, you're the perfect host, man.
Oh,
You do everything very well, and 𝗪𝗫 is great at her job too. I think you guys are the right power couple to put on this.
geez, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man.
And actually, when we started the podcast, you were one of the first guys that came up to us and said, if you need any help editing, if you need any help with the technical stuff, I'm here for you.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Just because of my background and stuff. I'm sure you've seen me go up to the front at meetings and fix things on the computer and all sorts of stuff. So if you ever need anything still, I think you guys do a great job now.
you're on the list. Trust me. When we need it, we're going to call you. Like, we're not embarrassed to call you either.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime.
Awesome. I'm just curious if you were talking to maybe yourself before you started the trade, or a young guy who's just getting into the trade, what would be your best piece of advice to give?
The sun always comes up every day. Every day is a new day. My mantra myself now is I eat bad days for breakfast, right? Bad days just build me. They don't deter me. I don't turn around and quit. If I have a bad day, I just take it in stride. If you have a bad day, don't let it ruin your week. Don't let it ruin your month. Don't let it ruin your year. Just keep going. Eventually it'll get better. The trades are full of bad days. Not everything goes perfect. I'm sure you know that, Dan. Sometimes you blow something up that you didn't mean to blow up. It happens. And then you get yelled at by a bunch of people that you never talked to.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. What matters is you're still alive. You're still breathing. You're still making that money. Just keep building. That's pretty much what I would say to myself. And I would tell myself to start at 19, not 27.
I hear you. Then again, hindsight is 2020. Without the experiences of making some maybe even bad choices along the way, how do you learn? How do you grow?
Yeah,
So,
that's another thing I push. When people say they failed, I always say you didn't fail, you learned. There is no failure. There's only learning.
yeah, you made me think about some of my own personal experiences of just healing from my physical injuries and healing the emotional side of all of this. And problem with myself, I festered on a lot of things where I had a lot of regrets. And I just look back on all of the negativity from the bad days that I had. And I wasn't looking forward.
No.
And for you to say that, that's a beautiful message, because I don't see you as a person who festers on things. I think you take it, you get over it, and then you move on. And that's how we need to be, especially in the field, in the industry that we're in. You can't live on regret, that's for sure.
Yeah, but realize that I didn't come in like that.
You changed.
Of course. Well, I grew.
Yeah.
You're right. You have to experience bad days. You have to see the lows to have the highs. If you get the valley, you get the mountain. If you're just this, it's pretty boring, man. People just need to almost realize that with a valley comes a hill.
Yeah, like there's always that saying when it comes to energy, you can't create or destroy energy. You can only divert it and change it.
Yeah, that's very true, man.
That's where I learned a lot about myself, whereas like I got all this energy, I have all this power, and it's my choice if I want to divert that power to the negative or if I want to divert it to the positive. It's up to me. But no matter what, we all have the power. You got to choose where you're going to push it.
And it defines you as a person, man, whether you think it does or not. People will know if you're a negative person or if you're a positive person.
And pushing the power, it fits well with the jobs that you do and the jobs that we've done building these power lines.
If anything, that's all I do is push power around. You're right.
What an awesome job you have. And what a fantastic contribution you make to our union and the industry itself.
Oh, thanks, man. I think everybody needs to hear that every now and then. So thank you, man.
You're welcome. And you are appreciated. You really are. We've touched on everything, you know. I think we have an awesome show. We really do. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just going to close things up here. For the audience at home, Chris, you have a message or anything that you feel that just you want to share?
Sure. I think I'll just go back to what I said earlier, just keep going. The sun comes up every day, man.
Yeah.
Every day is a new day. Nothing really matters about yesterday. Today is today, and that's your opportunity. And you should look at it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Live life like it's your last, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good thing when you're climbing a tower at 250 feet in the air.
maybe not those words. You're right. Yeah. There's a couple songs that you're not allowed to play because we play music up on the tower. There's a couple songs you're not allowed to play. Like another one, Bites the Dust. Forbidden. Not allowed to play that one. So maybe we'll watch the way we word it, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's amazing power to words, man. And your words have really represented the power linesman position today.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. This has been a fantastic show. We really appreciate your participation in the show today and your contribution to the CUSW in general.
Yeah, man. I had a lot of fun. I suggest this for anyone who wants to do it.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for everybody watching at home. And we're coming up to March 20th, and it's International Day of Happiness. Take note of the things that make you happy, the things that you want to do that will make you happy. We want everybody to be happy every day. That's our goal.
Yeah. Do what you love. Be happy.
Thanks, everybody. If you want to get in touch with Chris, myself, maybe you have some ideas for the show. We want to hear from you. Please refer to the show information package at the end. And on behalf of everybody on the CUSW Spotlight podcast, keep shining. All right. Is it International Hat? I gotta get the name right.
International Day of Happiness.
Thank you for shining bright in the CUSW Spotlight. Let's get inspired and shine a spotlight on the CUSW.